Hello, everyone. Welcome to DevChat. Today is March 22nd, and I am still Chuck Meyer, and I am here to talk about some of the things going on in the community around search, around recommendation machine learnings, and specifically around Algolia. So thanks for coming to hang out today. Sorry, I was a little late. I'm still a one-man shop here, one-person shop, which would be the first order of business. If you're looking to be a DevRel, we are hiring. There is an open position for developer relations here. So you could come join me, hang out, chat, do some live coding, all of that good stuff. Let me see if I can find a link here. In Boston specifically, which is interesting. Here we go. I'll drop this in the chat here. So yeah, if you're interested, drop us a line. Let us know. Would love to have you here with me. With that said, let's go ahead and dig into it. Let's see. So we got around the community. I brought up a few things that I thought were interesting. The first couple here are both from our buddy Jacob. I don't remember if I mentioned this last week or not. Jacob is the maintainer of the community built Algolia module for Nuxt.js. Specifically, he built this for use with Nuxt 3, which is great. It's definitely, I've been seeing a lot of tweets about it, comments about it, a few stars there. This is great. And I know he's got some folks using this in production, so congratulations on that. First thing that I think was kind of interesting was, again, I'm not sure if I remembered if I mentioned this last week or not, but Jacob's added support for the recommendation API. So for folks that don't know, obviously Algolia has two core APIs. Our search API, where you can index your content and do really quick interactive search on the front end using that. But then you can also feed us event information, and we can use that event information to train models to provide recommendations, primarily for e-commerce use cases, but there are other use cases as well. And so Jacob has added support for the recommendation library to his Nuxt module. So that's something fun if you wanted to dig in and play with that. The other thing is he has a request for comments around adding some higher level abstractions around getting content indexed. So essentially using sort of different providers, different backends, CMSs, et cetera, building out sort of an abstraction layer within Nuxt 3 that would allow you to quickly sort of pull data from various sources and get them into indices. I think that's really interesting. He cites sort of a pattern here. Jacob did a really good blog post on doing this for Storyblock specifically. He mentions another one here on Contentful. For folks that have been tuning in the last couple of weeks, I was doing something similar with Strappy, pulling in content from Strappy using another plugin that was done by another community member, Maddie. So yeah, I've been talking about that for a couple weeks. So Jacob's seeing a pattern here and thought that it might be interesting to sort of include that at the Nuxt 3 layer. Essentially, you would have a configuration within Nuxt that would allow you to sort of define your Algolia connection, a provider, and be able to kind of pull that data directly into your index. So if you participate in the Nuxt community and that's something you're interested in, you can take a look at that. I'll drop that discussion into the chat as well. Cool. All right. what else we got going on here? Let's see. Oh, this was a tweet from I think earlier today. This is Akshay Webster was doing some fun stuff, building on top of our Hacker News search. So for folks that aren't aware, one of the or a couple of the fine devs at Algolia built a dedicated search for Hacker News on top of the Hacker News posts. So essentially, we ingest the Hacker News posts. I used to have this repo. I don't know if I have it. Let me see. You can search. Right. Hey, look at that. Yeah, so this is the repo. It's a public repo, and this contains essentially all the code to crawl Hacker News and then index all of the posts. So we have, if you go to Hacker News, Hacker News. We love Hacker Noon too. Where's that search? I don't see it on here right now, but anyway, this is a search built on top of it. So this is kind of like a reverse of that. So essentially taking, how did I lose that article? Dude. Yeah, so taking that that feed, right, and bringing in a nice kind of UI with a speedy little search on top of it. So we can search for, say, let's look for next. So here's some next stuff, next 3. So you can see nice speedy search on top of it, clean interface. And what I like is Akshay is using hooks for this and is creating like this kind of nice context here. So I want to look into this a little bit. Now, this isn't using the Algolia APIs. This isn't hitting the index directly. This is actually sort of a higher level or a higher order abstraction on top of that, essentially using our connection to the index and then just kind of hitting it as an API endpoint. So it'd be kind of cool to see this retooled to go hit the index directly. But I still like it. I am just kind of digging in with hooks myself, React hooks myself. So I thought this was kind of an interesting kind of entry point, kind of see how hooks are being used, particularly like this kind of context piece of it, which is something I've never seen before. Again, I'm a relatively new front-end dev, so a lot of this stuff is new to me. So laugh at me if you will, but I thought it was kind of neat to see some of this stuff. What else? Let's see. So we went through this. This is a PR still open for React Query. And this PR, we've got Arnaud has submitted a Algolia example, an Algolia specific example for React Query. So essentially interacting with Algolia. So I thought that was kind of interesting too. I'm curious to see what happens with this one. I'm kind of following that as well. And that's kind of the most interesting stuff I saw around the community in the last week. Again, if you have something that you think is cool that you think I should be bringing up on these Tuesday sessions, please let me know. Check them on Twitter or hit me up in the chat at any point. And that's everything on that side. On the Algolia side, what have we got going on here? So on the Algolia side, this was a blog from Julien Lemon and Gaetan, just talking about our pricing model. Not really dev-centric, but it kind of interesting to see the sort of cycle that we've gone through as far as pay-as-you-go versus sort of feature gating. And kind of coming back around to trying to ungate some of our features, give folks more access to what they need, particularly in the free tier, right, and in the pay-as-you-go tier. So that was kind of a fun one. Let's see. And This is a blog post that I put up earlier today. This is kind of putting together all the work I was doing on the live chat a while back around doing a store locator, right? Using a combination of brick and mortar stores that have geolocation data and then virtual stores, right? Online only stores. So I obviously we went through this in the live coding a few weeks back, but I finally got the blog post up and published on Dev2 and also on the Algolia blog. And this walks you through step by step, setting the whole thing up, setting up your index, injecting your geo records, setting up your secondary index with your virtual records, and then combining them on the front end to sort of get a nice kind of unified search experience. I'm sure folks that have been watching this live stream are sick of seeing the demo, but you can see the demo here at the end, right, where you can key in an address and then do a search. And then you get sort of all of these geographic locations using Algolia GeoSearch. So searching out from the radius of this location. And then you also get these virtual locations up at the top here. So anyway, so that's up and live. I drop that into the chat. So you've got that as well. And is that it? And we talked about we're looking for DevRels. Cool. Okay. So with all of that out of the way, I hope you all are doing well. Not really a lot of folk, so won't worry about questions, but if you've got questions, feel free to jump on and ask them. As far as what to work on today, I was really kind of interested in that React hook example that we saw earlier. So for folks that don't know, we actually have a version of the Algolia Instant Search library that uses hooks now. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Come on. Doop, 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 doop. There it is. So yeah, so this is for folks that are familiar. Instant Search, of course, is one of our front-end libraries for building search UIs. There's a vanilla JavaScript version. There's a React version that we can look at that first. See React Instant Search. So there's a React version that surfaces a series of sort of predefined widgets that you can use to build a search interface. So you can go ahead and let's see, where's that widget list? External installation. Here we go, widget showcase. So yeah, so these are all sort of pre-baked widgets that you can just inject as components directly into your UI. So you can give yourself a search bar, you can do your results, refinements, right, using these dynamic widgets over here, price-based refinements, rating-based refinements. If you dig deeper into it, there's a date picker, there's geo components, so you can do like a map component for GeoSearch, which is what we're using over on the agency finder. So all of these are sort of pre-built, but they're kind of pre-built in an old school way using class-based React components. And the way that you customize them is by essentially building your own custom widgets and building connectors to essentially, funnel state information back and forth. So it's kind of, a higher order construct way of kind of building your own sort of search UI pieces. And let's see where do we show connectors here anyway? Heights, refinement connector, all sorts of connectors here. Let's see. But anyway, so this is kind of the way to do customization in the old school React instance search. And so what our developers have done is they've kind of done what I think a lot of folks in the React community are doing, and they've started to embrace React hooks. And so the hook library is a separate library. This is different than the React instance search with all the widgets in it. But this provides sort of a hook-driven experience. So the concept here is that this library sits on top of the vanilla instance search, right? The instance search JS, and then just provides like a thin layer to surface interactions with the instance search state using hooks. And so the concept here is that you can build out functional React components, like modern functional React components, and then use these hooks to ferry state information back and forth between the various pieces of your UI, right? So essentially, you can build out a thin search bar yourself, and then you can use the hooks to actually plug in to instance search on the backside so that the state information is passed back and forth as an individual is typing into the search box. They are that information is being communicated back to the instance search layer. Searches are being done against the Algolia API. Results are coming back and then being fed back into your results component or your hits component, as we like to call it, based on event hooks. And all of the state information is sort of housed specifically within the instance search layer. And it's something that you don't have to take care of within your individual components. Now, there will be sort of widgets on top of this at some point. Right now, it's just kind of that thin hook layer, and it is in beta right now. So this is not for production code yet, but there's a great opportunity here to kind of drill in, start playing with this, kick the tires on it, and get a feel for it, and provide feedback if there's anything in here that isn't what you were expecting with a hooked-based React component library. So I'll drop this in. If anyone wants to take a look at the docs, and put that right here. Again, I'm a front end noob, so for me, I was pretty excited just to be able to start building React components using classes. I didn't really wasn't really fully kind of appreciating the difference between functional components and the class-based components, the more complex class-based components, until I started to get into a bunch of the binding methods and all of the crazy stuff that you have to do during kind of initialization. So I did a little bit playing around with hooks themselves on my own and kind of got a feel for those. And I thought maybe what I do today is start drilling in on walking through some of these kind of pieces here and seeing how you would build out a front end using the new hook-based library. And this is kind of all building to, we'll be doing kind of a more formal session, probably late next month. But this is kind of, I just wanted to start kind of playing around with this and getting a feel for it. So let's see. So let's go jump into the getting started guide here. So as you can see, again, a lot of sort of emphasis on the fact that this is beta, but that's okay. Let's see, running here. Go. Kill iTerm. Let's see. Kind of. There we go. Okay, so we're going to try okay, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to install, well, let's do it in npm init. Oh, no, we'll start with this code sandbox here. That'd be even easier. All right. So we've got our code sandbox here. Nice, simple interface. Let's see here. My stream. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do instant search. And then we'll also add in search, React. Let's see. React instant search hooks, my bad. Okay. Cool. All right. And what's our next step here? So now at the core of all this stuff, we've got this instant search component. So everything that we build is going to live within this context, right? And this is essentially our search client. So let's go ahead and get that up and running first. So we'll go ahead. We went the late version. The very thin piece of it. And then import the yeah. Okay. All right, and then we need to okay, so getting used to these naming standards in JavaScript. Search client. And then we need to give it an app ID and a key. So let's see, what can we use for this one? How about, let's see, we'll just go to my dashboard. That's not me. Dun, dun, dun. It's Octaday. Lots of fun. All right, you lovely folks. Sorry, taking this over here for a sec. Give me a second. Copy password. Paste that password. Generate a new password. Copy password. This is when I miss having someone here with me. Okay, let's see here. All right. Is everyone else having a fun Okta day? Good times, right? Okay. So let's see. What do we got here? We can use we'll use one of these from the Strappy stuff I was doing. This is my article index. So let's see. So we'll go ahead, go grab our API stuff here. My app ID. And then my search only API key. Drop that in. Maybe, did I not copy it? Copy. And paste. All right. Let's at least get that much right. Yep. Okay. There. So now we've got our search client. And now we can drop in Algolia search as a dependency. Oh, I forgot. Did I not do? What did I do wrong there? Oh, I added instant search instead of, my bad. Yep. All right, we don't need that one. We need Algolia search. Make that better. Is that okay? Default client is not a function. All right, cool. Equals Algolia search. Boop. All right. Any better? Some days you're just made for live coding, and some days you just aren't. All right, what do I got wrong here? Algolia search light. Yeah, that looks right. Search client. I'm happy just because that even exists in the world. Huh. Broken. Okay, well, we got that much back. Bring this in. Still happy. And still happy. Fair enough. All right, back where we were. So now we want to go ahead and bring in our instant search component here. So let's see, we'll do it here below hello code sandbox. Bring in an search component. And then we give it a search client and an index name. Client equals client and index name equals I'm just going to copy that. This is for folks that didn't see my Strappy live blog or live coding session. This is kind of the default name format for the Strappy Algolia plugin. So it's essentially, it prefixes it with development or production based on your environment, and then its API, and then the content type that you're indexing. So in this case, I'm indexing articles. So that's where that kind of comes from. You can give it a better, cleaner name. I just didn't for my session, so that's what we got right now. I think we just close it. Okay. And then we're going to wrap basically all of our search experience in this component. So we'll go ahead and close it there too. Got to curly braces around things. When you're going React. So now we've got this. Now we've got a place to put our search components. All right. So that is the foundation of everything. Now, first component. We're going to do a search box. I've been warned. They're a little messy, but we're going to do it anyway. And we've got two versions here. We've got a TypeScript version and a JavaScript version. So we're going to use this JavaScript version here and go ahead and create this component. Now again, unlike the existing React library, the pre-baked widgets aren't there. This is really, the React hooks are just this thin layer essentially to communicate back and forth between your custom components and the Algolia state information on the backside. So the plan is that eventually there will be widgets, but this is more for if you're someone who's very comfortable building custom widgets, using the connectors in the old way of doing things. This provides you a way to do something very similar using the new functional components. And I think what we're going to do for the live coding session next month is we'll start with a old school class-based refinement list component with a connector, and then we'll figure out how to sort of convert that into a functional component with a subscription to the different hooks. But for now, I'm just going to kind of build this based on this getting started guide, because again, I'm just kind of starting to get used to this stuff. Okay, so here's our hook right here, our use search box hook. So we'll go ahead and grab that. And you're going to notice that all of these hook names follow the same naming convention as the old widgets, right? So we're still talking about hits. We're still talking about search boxes. We're still talking about refinement lists. All of the things that you're kind of used to for building front-end UIs. Oh, wait, not from use search box. That's from React search hooks. Cool. So we've got that. And that'll be how we get our state information into here. Okay, so let's start. We got some use effects. We've got a return. What should we start with here? Handle reset, a handle submit event. We'll just build this out, export function. So we're going to build our functional component here. All right. And why don't we just start by rendering something? Let's see. Let's just start by rendering something and see what happens. How much of this is your form? Those later. Input. Okay, we've got an input ref. I'm going to take the placeholder out for now. And ref and input value. Let's see, we can grab those. How? Let's see. Well, the input value is just using a regular state hook here. So let's go ahead and add that in. And then going the wrong way. Let's see. We want that set input value. Where's the method there? Okay, cool. And then I don't know, use ref. Let's do this too. So I think, oh, that's right. So use ref, that's essentially the same as use state, but rather than causing a re-render, this is just for backend stuff, right? So, okay, so we've got our input ref and we've got our input value. We can add this on change in. Well, we don't have our placeholder yet. But we do have some of the basics here. Okay. And we can keep building up from here. Let's just start with that. See what we can do. Let's see, and so what props is it looking for? So there's a bunch of stuff here. Query, refine, and search from use search box. This is coming from the use search box piece of it. I'm not going to wire that in just yet. I just want to get this box rendering. And then what else are we using props? Just that placeholder. Okay, well, let's just drop this in and see what happens. I am curious. Box. What if we import it? Set use state. Something's really wrong. That's great. Why can't we use... Did I put that in the wrong spot? Oh, because of the query. Got it. That's what's confusing it. Okay, what if I do this? Less sad at me. Yeah. This version is experimental, not production ready. No consume error. Something is really wrong. All right, well, let's see. I'm gonna take out the state information. Let's keep this down to the bare minimum just to get it. Anything? Use ref, we'll take that out too. Okay, fine. Ref. And value. All right, well, that's very simple. Okay, so take all that out. Now, so I'm trying to do a use state here. Not like it. Do I need, is there something I need to include to use hooks? Let's see, let's look at the bigger version of this. I'm going to assume that there's a full version of this on GitHub. From there we go, full markup. Here's the example. That's what it is. So I do need all that stuff from. All right. There we go. So now I've got access to this good stuff. All right. Then we can bring this in, that in, and bring this in. Okay, now we're back in business. Oh. Changing from an undefined to a defined value. All right. But looks like we're functional here. Let's see, what do we got here? Here's our search box. There's our state. All right. I'm not sure why that's not getting pushed in. I get rid of my, that should be using the set input value. Pass that in. Okay. Let's see. So what do we do from here? Oh, I guess with this, like, we could set it up to be the value of this this input piece. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's see. Let's go back in here. Let's bring these pieces in. So this is the piece that is specific to our new hook. So let's bring in the search box components here. And so what we have here, so we're bringing in the query piece from the search box, right? The actual value that's getting passed along, any refinements, and then whether or not we're stalled out on the back end hitting the API. So we've got all those pieces. We're going to track changes to query and then tie that to our input value. And then we've got our ref here, which is just a null. Okay, so with those in place, can I do this or is this going to yell at me? Oh, this doesn't update real time. That's what's going on. Gotta go drill back in. I see. Okay, that's why I wasn't picking that up earlier. Okay, cool. So basically at this point, we have an input box with a value that we track, an onChange event to update that into the state, and then we're wired into our useSearchBox hook here. So let's go ahead and add in some events. Put this over here. I'm not going to get rid of it yet, though, because that seems like it'd be useful. Okay, so we've got our submit event and our reset event here, and they both look very similar. And let's see, so in both cases, preventing defaults, stopping propagation, and here we're setting the input value to blank for a reset. That makes sense. Okay. And then submit, very similar. Except we're going to blur focus instead of focusing focus. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Turn those on for our form. So now I should be able to all right. What is next? We've got our search box hooks, our local state, references, and then we need our effect here. So track when a value is coming from the React state changes to synchronize it with the instance search. Okay, got it. So this is coming from the back of the front and going to our rendered search box. Missing dependency query. Interesting. Let's see. Does this one actually have the query in it? It doesn't put the query in it. Well, we'll try it like this. We'll see how it works. And then what we've got here, track when the instance search query changes, synchronize it with the React state. Okay. We don't want to track when the React state value changes. Got it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to actually bring both of these effects in. So we've got going from the back of the front to the front of the front, and then from the front of the front to the back of the front. Let's see how those fit together here. Value is not defined. Oh, I don't think it's called value. What do we call it? Let's see, where's this value coming from here? Yeah, so ours is called input value. Value. And down here. So now we've linked our state to our typing. All right. Is there a network layer? Can we actually see? There should be communication going on. Let's see. No. Let's see here. Let me pop this out. So are we at the point where we'll actually, yep, there we go. So now we've got a search box and we're sending queries out to, through our Algolia agent, we're actually sending queries out to our index, which is great. Of course, the downside is we're not doing anything with the results right now. So let's see. First of all, is that everything we need for the search box? Let's see, anything else I left uncommented here? No, that looks pretty. We're not checking is search stalled. And we're not using change event. Does this one use change event? On change. What do we use on change? Controlled search box. Interesting. So this isn't using a form. This is just using controlled search box. What is controlled search box? A little more abstraction. Got it. There's a lot more going on here, huh? Oh my goodness. And it's actually checking if it's stalled and all of that good stuff. Yeah, let's see. We're going to use our little rinky-dink one for now. I think this is good enough for what we're trying to do. But that means we don't need change event. And we should probably be tracking that, but not for now. Okay, so now we've got that and we've got our component in place. And now we need results. Yep. We can see here, this is showing all the post requests. We already checked that. So now to display our hits. And because we're using the hooks, really all this hit is just how we want it to look on the page, which is great, right? That's all you really want from a hook. I mean, that's all you really want from a result list. So let's go ahead. I think we call this, was this hits? Hits. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab our hook. And I'm just realizing that in my app, I'm using double quotes, and then everywhere else I'm using single quotes. So much for code consistency, right? Code base. And so now we've got our hits. We need our function. Oh. Okay. Ups is all right. And then for our state, That should bring in our results. Yeah, never read. Okay, that's fine. And then we just need to show what we want it to look like. So let's see, build out a div. I'm just going to copy this in. So we have an unordered list. And each list item is our hit. Object ID. All right. Not a lot to that one. Oh, it really likes quotes, huh? Really likes double quotes. Okay. Did they change the search box over too? Yeah. Oh, okay. Guess we're using double quotes all around. That's why. Makes sense. Okay. See if this is enough. Hits. Oh yeah. Okay. Thinking. Expected a string for built-in component. Check the render method of hits. All right, so let's check our hits real quick. What have I done wrong here? Hit object ID. Yeah, see, the problem is that freaking out because that's empty? Hmm. This is lowercase. Hmm. Yeah, you can't just embed that like that, can you? Hmm. And it is so weird, like putting stuff into just do that there instead of setting it to a value. Do that here. I'm still getting used to this. Let me make sure that's actually what's causing the problem. Just make this always Fred. You see where the error is, though. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's see. So if I back out my hits here, do this. Try to do it here. Let's see. No. That renders. It's in and extremely unhappy with me. Turn div class name. Let's simplify this. So for now, hello world. That's enough. Okay, let's start. Man, that takes a while. Okay. Oh, ordered list. It's not an ordered list. That's an ordered list. All right. Let's hit that. All right, we're going to cheat again. Let's take a look at the more complex one and see what it does. Oh, that's my bad. Set up your hit component. Okay, so maybe that's the problem. Anything else I missed here? Hits from hits. Hit component. So where's it grabbing hit from? Ah, okay, got it. So we need to be able to, this is when I think Chuck's getting a little sleepy here. I should have caught that. Okay, got it. So we need a very small component here that shows how each individual item is going to be rendered. Categories, name and price. We don't have categories, name and price. We have category, title, description. Let's do that. Our category is our category. And it's a complex object. We're going to do author. Title. Description. Okay, so that defines our hit. Hey. Kind of cool. Oh, we don't need that $sign. Nice. And then the images aren't coming through because those are actually all, I think, served locally. Okay, so what did I do there? Let's review this. So we went ahead and we created the search box component, right? We're using the hooks to kind of pass state information back and forth to the backend. And then we also created this hits component, which gives us a place to put our results. And we're doing a map against the hits coming back through this use hits hook, right? So essentially, we're pushing query information out to Algolia search. The queries are being run on the back end. Results are getting pumped back in through this use hits. And then as we get those hits, we can re-render here. So let's go ahead and just do a search for, I know there's one about shrimp. Yep. There we go. It ain't pretty, but boy, we sure have a hooked-based search here, which is not a bad place to start or stop in this case. What did I do wrong? Well, you got to be able to render this hit, right? That component needs to exist. Why that lives up here instead of in here with this one, I guess I'm going to leave to another day, but we've got the ability to go ahead and just pull different pieces out of here, and that's all coming directly from the back end. So we could say anything else we could grab out of here. Let's grab author name. Let's do that. Let's grab author name. See if that works any better. This image doesn't work. This is an array or just a value. There we go. Nice. Boy, that's ugly, huh? We'll clean that up another day. I think that's it for today. I am going to sign off and maybe go get a little bit of snack. I'm feeling a little low blood sugar. Thanks to anyone who tuned in today. Hopefully this was interesting to some of you. Again, hooks are really new to me. I mean, all of the front end's new to me, but hooks are particularly new. But I love this idea. I love moving away from classes. I am a Python and Perl guy from way back, so I never really latched onto the whole object-oriented sort of way of doing things. So this kind of functional, verb-based mechanism of doing things makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm going to keep playing with it, and I hope to see you again next week. So take care, have fun coding, and again, if you've got anything that you want me to talk about next week, please send them to me, check them on Twitter, or you can put a comment on this on YouTube as well. And I will talk to you later. Bye.